Well, I did promise that we were staying on political matters, and we're bringing another perspective right now. Mr. Laolu Akade joins us. He is the lead anchor of Inside Sources and also a former presidential spokesperson. Mr. Akade, I'm sure you must have been watching very intently, the activities of this week. Were you as befuddled as we were as to what exactly was the status of the members who had just gone to form or join the ADC? Were you wondering if they had abandoned their ship, or were they still members of the PDP and the APC? Because we saw quite a number of people, former APC stalwarts there as well. What was your make of this new coalition under the ADC?
Well, so as to the membership, I think people like Amechi, Malami, and Aregbesola are very clear that they have left APC. Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar haven't quite made any public announcement of them leaving.
Any categorical statement?
Any categorical statement. As a matter of fact, the factional chairman of Labour Party has given Peter Obi, I think, 48 hours, to make up his mind. So, yeah, so that is still quite a little puzzle. But what I think has happened is that now we have a bit of a glimmer of hope that there can be a good opposition in Nigeria's politics, because it's going to help the system. First of all, it's going to increase accountability, and then it's going to force the people in government to become more transparent, because if you have a strong voice in the opposition, they will raise important issues that government will be compelled to respond to. So to that extent, the fact that opposition is good for democracy, this is a good development in my view. And if you look at the response of the APC, it's shown a bit of being jittery, and panicky, which I find to be quite befuddling. They should welcome opposition.
Has it been jittery? They seem to have dismissed, and saying it's just aggrieved politicians,
So the question is, what were they when the folks who are in government now were in opposition? Were they also aggrieved at that time? So saying they are aggrieved, or using language such as they want to use a forceful act, that's just showing that, you guys are jittery, and it's unnecessary. What they ought to do is to say, we welcome this opposition, that's going to help our country, and we're going to show that we are the better part.
So let's talk about this opposition.
Right.
This African Democratic Congress. Now, there are the people who were in the party before. We saw Mr. Dumebi speaking up recently. They said they're going to carry out litigation. They don't believe that these people came in the right way. I want you to be able to speak to that, because that's a lingering issue that they would have to deal with in the next few days. And then secondly, there's a thought process out there that Peter Obi is being used, because Peter Obi has said that he is going to run. Right. He has indicated that he's going to run for president. But we also know that Atiku Abubakar really would not, we don't know how that's going to work out. So who's going to shift for who? And how is David Mark going to navigate the many interests that have come into this party at the same time as we look at 2027?
Okay, I mean, first, the question of the guy who was the presidential candidate of ADC before is a non-starter. I mean, look, where was he? I mean, look at what Peter Obi has done. At least after the election, he stood there, he kept showing up, even though he can't manage his party, but he was out there. This Dumebi guy just disappeared and then comes around now. I don't think it's going to make any impact. But let's talk to, besides the fact that they said he's even been suspended or even expelled previously. But to the second question, which what's the second question?
The ambitions of everyone coming in. We're looking at
exactly,
Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar.
Exactly. So and that's the challenge. That's the challenge of this opposition. Are they going to be able to remain together? That's the big question, because we know that Amechi wants to be president. Peter Obi wants to be president, and Atiku Abubakar wants to be president. So those are the three main forces. Who knows? Maybe there are other people there who wants to be president. So that is going to be the greatest challenge of this coalition. When the APC were forming, everybody knew clearly that this is something between the people of Buhari in the north and the people of Tinubu in the southwest. And Tinubu was very clear that, look, let this thing go first to the south, to the north, for Buhari. So that helped the cohesion of the party. Now, they don't have that until we can see that they commit themselves in a serious way to say that, look, we're going to have a fair process, and whoever emerges is going to be supported. We don't have that now. There's still quite a bit of stuff going on.
I want to be able to, the last thing that I think they will have to deal with is the perception issue.
Yeah.
And that was something we see a lot of people pushing narratives about, oh, old, recycled, overused politicians. This is the old generation. These are the same people. How are they going to handle that perception in your view?
All of them are old.
There's nothing they can do about that perception.
and the new guys, look, these guys are the same, really. We have lost the ideological center or base in Nigeria's politics. So what we have is the same set in terms of character and their behavior. They are the same. The only difference that somebody like Bola Ahmed Tinubu has shown is that he has a superior strategy. He understands this game more than the rest of them. So you can say today that he is the owner of the game, but that doesn't mean that he's not vulnerable. He's also vulnerable because so far he has not shown in government that he can actually deliver the goods. You know, I still give him another 2 years, you know, because if he starts today, he can still get things done. But we haven't seen, it is not what he has represented that we are seeing in government. Look, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you know, as president, suspended an elected governor and the assembly. That is completely, totally undemocratic, and it destroys his reputation as a democratic person. So we haven't seen so much of what we thought it was in government. So they're all the same, you know, until we are proven otherwise. And so we are giving the benefit of doubt to the coalition, just like we're giving the benefit of doubt to the APC. We are saying that we're APC, you still have 2 years, let's see what you're going to do. And so coalition people, okay, let's see whether you know what you ought to do. And we haven't heard a lot from them in terms of what they're going to do. You know, we've not had, you know, so what are the issues? What kind of tendency are you going to push? Is it going to be welfare for Nigeria? What is it that you want to do differently? We haven't seen that. But like I said, these guys are the same. Nigerians should shine their eyes.
We clearly know that the forthcoming days will certainly be very interesting for political watchers. Mr. Laolu Akade, we have to thank you,
so
for coming on the program this morning. Interesting hat, by the way. Like I've seen one this morning. He's a former presidential aide and also the presenter of Inside Sources.